When companies start out, they look like this, but when they scale, they don't look like this, they look like this. What you see is specialization, people with deeper expertise but in a more narrow focus. The most interesting person in this picture is this one. The conductor makes none of the music the audience came to hear, just like the CEO in a company whose primary function is to coordinate all the others doing the work. CEOs, like conductors, derive their power from making other people powerful. Hi, my name is John Cipher, and I started my first company in 1979. It's the only one that wasn't profitable. Since then, I've started and run several others which have been very profitable. But then in 1994, I started using what I'd learned to help other business owners run their companies better. And by running your company better, I mean it doesn't all depend on you. The company serves your life, not the other way around. And I've never worked with an owner who didn't want to make more profit as well. Here's why I found this analogy of the orchestra so powerful. What is the CEO doing when he or she performs this function of coordinating the work of others? Well, there's only three things a company needs to do. It needs to make something or provide some value that people want to buy. It needs to find those people and sell to them. And it needs to build an organization to support the people that do the first two and do them profitably. When a conductor is coordinating musicians, they're comparing what they hear to the score that the composer has written. When a CEO is coordinating their team, they're comparing what they see to their vision of what the company can be. Of course, this is a very high-level overview. In reality, there's a lot more going on. Make expands to these subtasks, sell expands to these, support expands to these, and the vision tasks can be expanded as well. When you expand the whole thing, it looks like this. That appears to be a whole lot of jobs, but only in the largest company does a person perform just a single job. In most companies, people are wearing many hats. So are we talking about jobs or hats? Well, actually neither. The best way to think about it is to think about it as a function. People in most companies perform many different functions. So why is this a useful distinction? Even in the smallest companies, they perform all the functions that output making, selling, and supporting. Even two founders in a garage, they do them all. And by seeing the company as a collection of those functions, we can manage better, project growth faster, and have a better handle on making our vision a reality. What makes this so powerful is that all these functions, except for the ones around what you make, they're all very similar across industries, and they scale in a repeatable way as the company grows. I've seen this in 40 years of running my companies and 25 years of working with other business owners across the U.S. and Europe. Let me show you how this works in practice. Dave's company makes parts for submarines, it repairs aircraft, and even has a part on the Mars rover. When we started talking, he wanted to double the size of his company from 5 million to 10. Doing the analysis of the functions, we realized he has no sales outreach. They just responded to RFQs that came in because of their 50-year reputation. He was willing to invest in a sales team, but before we did that, we used a tool called the Customer Management Matrix to identify which customers would help him reach his goal. As a result, he eliminated some customers who were taking him in a different direction and found some key deficiencies in his service to his best customers. Improving those and focusing only on his A-list, he was able to reach his goal in a few years. Dr. Fawn Powell had grown her company to 80 staff, providing individualized support for people who had developmental disabilities. She asked me if she should first hire an executive assistant or a chief of staff. I said the important thing was not the title, but the output of the function that person performed. After looking at the company through the lens of the functional org chart, what was missing was obvious. The first level of management was ineffective. People weren't being held accountable. Because of this, she'd put her growth plans on hold. Now she's engaging in a 3-month process to promote, hire, and train people to perform that function, and her growth plans are back on track. Nancy had no employees when we started working together. She ran her sales training company with just a handful of contractors. As we discussed her vision, she decided not to become a Stage 2 company because it would require her to spend more time building the organization and less working directly with her clients. So the plan we developed included parts I often recommend to Stage 1 companies. Do high-quality work so you can price near the top of your market, focus your marketing, and engage your support team properly. Now she's the leading producer of all the people in her mastermind group. Sebastian was in his mid-30s, running a fast-growing tech company. Between the time we started talking and the first time he brought me to his headquarters in the Netherlands, it had grown from 60 to about 80 employees. As the oldest person in his company, he was concerned that he didn't know what he didn't know. The initial analysis uncovered that the critical missing piece was a lack of a strategic plan for a company growing that fast. The first planning retreat included key employees outside the leadership team so that the plan they developed was useful at all levels of the organization. Marina and Joanne run a combination law firm and CPA firm. They needed an upgrade in their hiring process and their pricing structure. As those things were put in place, their revenue and profits more than doubled. David runs a tech startup, and when it reached 20 employees, he had delegated so well he was no longer directly in charge of any major function. He was nervous about frustrating the staff by interjecting his opinions in a disruptive manner, yet he still wanted to push the team in the direction of his vision. In short, he wanted to be a better CEO. Our coaching engagement showed him where to focus and how to do a better job leading the team. Since we've been working together, David has directed his team to build new features for a new market, lowered his cost, and increased profitability. If you're frustrated with your company's progress and want to run your company better, perhaps I can help. We won't know till we talk. Send me an email and we'll set up a time to chat.